Ah, my country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Of thee I sing, and standing beside her I see we've got some problems when it comes to dealing with drugs. But frankly, I'm not surprised that our country is this way because, as evidenced by Alex Jones, we've all been had. The government has duped us into thinking that warfare and military muscle are a function of patriotism. We've all been tricked into thinking that a military state is the accepted norm. How? By assimilating the words and symbols of war right into our daily culture. And with it comes the government's desire to crack down on anything that could possibly represent a threat to its control on us all, especially drugs. It's so shameful to see the depths to which the American government would sink to push a military culture on us and get us to be so freaked out by such harmless things like a little drugs. It's just so shameful. Oh, sorry. Here. Maybe you want some bazooka bubblegum your own? Oh. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute! Well, you see what they're doing? It's the use of drugs that provided an interesting storyline known to history as Snowbirds Don't Fly. And yes, it introduced us to the big joke that Green Arrow's ward Speedy is a junkie. What? You were expecting I was going to include a Speedy Gonzalez clip or something? I'm not making a joke about how Speedy is a junkie. I'm just not. It's not that funny. What is funny is how the story starts off. Oliver Queen gets jumped by some punks and shot with a crossbow. Yeah, a crossbow. Even he didn't take it seriously until the arrow sank into his chest. And this is where it gets completely contrived. This scene is pretty stupid. He stumbles around trying to get help. A couple passes him by, they ignore him. The telephone is out of order. The cop on the beat tells him to go sleep it off because he thinks the guy is drunk. This could not possibly be any more forced than it already is. Oh, no, wait! He tries to hail a taxi, and it doesn't pick him up! Isn't that just wacky? Oh, and he tries to get admitted to the hospital, but they tell him they're so full up and can he wait until tomorrow? That's not funny. In case you can't tell by my scrubs, I work at a hospital. We wouldn't do this. This comic is not off to a good start. It better pick up. Serves you right for invoking Godwin's Law at the beginning of this run. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna do it too. Hey, Ollie, I see you got shot and need medical attention. You know who else got shot and needed medical attention? Hitler! See how easy it is, folks? But in all seriousness, Ollie realizes the arrow he was shot with comes from a bow he recognizes that he gave to his ward, Speedy. Yes, he named his ward Speedy an actual ward. Ollie is like that. And yes, he did it just to piss off Batman. Again, Ollie is like that. He's just a dick. So, they find the guy that was selling these kids drugs, and they kick his ass. And look at this. You really gotta admire a guy who has balls to take on two costume superheroes. Whatever his bosses are paying him, it's clearly not enough. It's then we get a scene where two kids talk about the reasons why they do drugs. For them, it's a matter of escaping from a society that really doesn't treat them with any kind of respect. Be that they or their parents or their families or just their people in general. Unfortunately, it's then that Green Lantern and Green Arrow come in and, well, you might be thinking that this was turning into something of a serious discussion of racism and drugs, and that maybe we could finally begin to respect it, but nope. They need puns to lighten the mood, like right now. And it's then that Ollie sees Speedy, or rather, Roy, as I'll call him, with these junkies. Now, if you think that perhaps he'll think that Speedy is, in fact, himself a junkie, nope, you're wrong. He guesses that Speedy is undercover. Good lord, this guy is dumb. At any rate, one of the kids says that he really doesn't like his habit and he'd be happy to take them to see the real Pusher Man. Oh boy, it's the liar revealed trope. Speedy has to lie about what it is that he's doing, and he's gonna get found out, and it's gonna be awful. But in the meantime, let's have Oliver Queen being a jerk to kids for doing drugs in the first place and not understanding why they even do them. What Ollie Queen insists is that life is tough for everybody, and if you don't want to take part in humanity, you shouldn't allow yourself to be dragged down into a drug-induced stupor. Remember this. Remember this lack of sympathy. And remember it well. Unfortunately, as it turns out, the whole thing was a trap, and the guy never intended to take them to his suppliers in the first place. Green Lantern and Green Arrow are knocked out and drugged up. Luckily, Roy actually did the responsible thing and called the cops. But unluckily, the suppliers will be back any minute, so Roy has to get Green Lantern to wake up and fly them off in a great green bubble, and he makes an "Oh my God, what's wrong with your face?" Yeah, this is what happens when Green Lantern tries to make an energy construct and he's tripping balls. Do you see what happens when you do drugs? If you do drugs, you're going to create a giant monster version of yourself with your energy ring, and it's going to bite your heads off. So don't do drugs or Green Lantern will bite your head off. Wait. Luckily, they managed to beat the thing, head home, and Roy tries to explain why a kid would do drugs. He says, suppose a young cat has someone he respects, looks up to this older guy that goes around the country, ignores his young friend. The kid might need a substitute for friendship, and he might see it in drugs. Do you want to guess what Mr. Sensitive's intelligent, reasonable response to this is? Do you want to just go ahead and guess what sort of sage advice he gives to Roy, or what he figures out from this subtle hinting about a young boy whose older adult friend has been going around the country ignoring his younger friend. Guess what Ollie does. Go on, guess.
Nothing! Absolutely nothing! Stupid! You're so stupid!
Oh, but it gets better, because guess what happens on the exact same page? That's right. Ollie goes home, offers to make Roy a bowl of chili, and comes in to see that Roy has been doing drugs. You know, the cover of the story did say that this was going to happen. And still, I find this book, it's honest. It's satisfying. Ollie got knocked right off his moral high horse that he had claimed to be riding from the very beginning of this run. He's been doing nothing but talking about the evils of drugs, knowing better than Hal did about what real life was like on the streets, and he had no idea what was going on with his own sidekick because he was too busy going on a road trip trying to fix America's problems to ignore the big problem that was happening with his young ward. This is what happens when you don't check in with your loved ones once in a while, Ollie. Oh, and it gets better, because guess how the next issue starts out? Ooh, yeah, now it's starting to look like a preachy after-school special. Or a Lifetime Channel TV movie, because, you know, all grown men are evil, and it's all men's fault if women cheat and stuff like that. Anyhow, Ollie is pissed off at poor Roy, and basically kicks him out of the apartment, insisting that he never wants to see the kid again. Was it me? Did I somehow fail the kid? I haven't paid much attention to him lately. But he shouldn't need attention. Not at his age. No, I'm innocent of blame. I've always taught him to be strong, independent, to hang tough. This is called blaming the victim. They do it to rape victims in small towns. Roy didn't do anything wrong that you couldn't have prevented by just being more involved in his life. You failed, Ollie. You failed. Screw you. It's now that we cut to a scene that really works, in my opinion. The two kids we saw earlier trying out some new junk. Dig it. I'm so far up. I'm nowhere. Nowhere! Hey, man, what's happening? Talk to me! You know I gotta play this clip, dudes. Right?
Is he dead?
Damn! Y'all done killed this dude. Actually, with the coloring of this... What the hell? We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine. We all live... Later on, Hal meets up with Roy and talks to him after he's done some policing. Because, you know, the Green Lantern Corps are space cops. Hal is a bit more sympathetic to Roy, but he's still confused about the "why are you doing drugs" thing. But then again, this is from a guy who thought rock and roll music was music that rolled out of a rock. So while Hal and Ollie go to track down the supplier of all the drugs, Roy has another excellently done moment with Carol Ferris, Hal's girlfriend. Yeah, I don't think I really need to say anything. This is just very beautifully done. In contrast to that, let me show you some actual superheroing being done in a superhero book. At any rate, they beat the supplier up, and Ollie questions the wisdom of getting this guy a doctor, but, well, you know, they are the good guys. With the story finishing up, Hal and Ollie go to attend the funeral of the Asian teen from before, along with Roy. Roy admits to Ollie he's going to stay off drugs from now on and go cold turkey, but not before a little thing called cruel irony. What was that punch for? Call it sharing. I'm sharing a very small piece of the pain I've gone through these past couple days. The kind of pain thousands of kids are going through every day because an uncaring and unthinking society turns its back on them. The fact is, drugs are a symptom, Ollie. And you, like the rest of society, you attack the symptom and not the disease. But this symptom's worse than most. Maims, pains, it dims you. It drives you over the edge of insanity and over. And one day ends your trip on a slab in the morgue with a tag around your toe. So I gotta go now. Roy, thanks for the hand, sister. But he needs your help now more than I do. Only he doesn't know how to do it. He's kind of dumb in a lot of ways. I'm like him a lot. I'm cocky enough to think I can help some of my friends avoid that slab. See you straights around. It's a very large lump of pride which forms in the throat of Oliver Queen. His boy has become a man. So that was Green Lantern, Volume 2, numbers 85 and 86. Snowbirds Don't Fly. And yeah, there's stuff to make fun of in this, but in all honesty, I actually really like this. I'm being dead serious. These issues came off as heartfelt and honest. The art's well done, and though the writing can come off as slightly melodramatic, I think it stands the test of time pretty dang well. This is a good example of one of the more serious Silver Age tales, and I do highly recommend it to everybody else. Now, there were a few other stories in the O'Neil Adams run that I intend to look over because they're also controversial. And I think I'm going to start us off by playing the white guilt card, because the next time I do this little show, we're bringing in the Native Americans and a certain guy named Ulysses Starr. Ulysses Starr. Above all, though, there is one more thing I want to say. Don't do drugs. Seriously, just don't. It kills your brain cells, it makes you do stupid things, they're illegal, you could get in serious trouble with the law, and they're addictive, which means that they're very difficult to stop. So if you want to avoid all of that stuff, just don't do drugs, okay? We got enough of this sensationalist culture glorifying them, and we don't need anything else that even looks like it's glorifying drugs. You want some? Sure, it's really good. Wait a minute. Did it again!